Welcome to the show. I'm Jason Whitlock, and I'll tell you why I'm not jumping off the bandwagon of the new look Cavaliers.
And I'm Colin Cowherd, and I'll tell you why I actually have something negative to say about LeBron today. Speak for yourself starts now.
Oh, I can't wait to hear this.
Yeah. Now, it'll be brief. It'll only be a minute or so.
Very brief. All right, hello and welcome. We're joined today by NBA champion Stephen Action Jackson and the founder of the Big Lead, just coming off vacation, Jason McIntyre. Let's start in Cleveland, where the new look Cavaliers looked a lot like the old look Cavaliers last night, getting beat badly by the Spurs at home. While LeBron had a great game coming up, 1 assist short of a triple-double, the rest of the team shot just 36% from the field, and the Cavaliers have now lost 2 of 3. Cowherd, are you concerned about the Cleveland Cavaliers?
No, because I think we were too high early on them and we're too low on them now. I think they're better than what we saw yesterday, and I think they're not as good as what we saw in the first couple of days. It is a limited team. I think what happened is LeBron pushed for a longer All-Star break, and he got it. And that allowed coaches 2 to 3 more days to look at film of the new Cavs. And so teams were ready off the break to see Jordan Clarkson and Larry Nance and Rodney Hood and George Hill, and it's a fairly limited offensive roster. They're younger. I think they're a little better defensively, but these are a lot of C-plus guys waiting for Kevin Love to come back.
You got the wrong team, the wrong people scouting the Cavs. I wish Tyronn Lue and the Cavs had looked at the film of their team so they'd actually know what they have. George Hill is shot. He is a shot fighter. He's a low expectations player. When there's low expectation, he exceeds expectations. When you put him in a pressure situation where there are expectations, I saw it with the Pacers, he goes downhill. George Hill should not be in the starting lineup. This Osman kid, he's not an NBA starter. They need Kevin Love back. They need this kid moved to the bench and play Jeff Green more minutes. Yesterday, if you looked up and down their roster, LeBron played 40 minutes and everybody else played between 20 and 25 to 28. They don't know who to play. I blame Tyronn Lue and the coaching staff. They got to figure out what personnel they have and who can help. I'd put this call to run back in the starting lineup for George Hill and leave Clarkson off the bench to lead the number 2 offense. But they just need to play the right people and find out
what?
And find out who should be on the court. They're just throwing guys out there. When I looked at the minutes played yesterday, I was like, they don't know who to play.
Mm-hmm. They got a lot of guys. It's a more energetic team now, but I don't think they have the experience and the what can I say, leadership besides LeBron. You know, you can't depend on him to lead for the whole game. You know, like when he had Kyrie, he had somebody he could take a break with. Now he don't have that. He have a great group of young guys. They play hard, they're energetic, but they don't have no experience. They don't have no long playoff experience. You don't have nobody to get on the team when LeBron's out the game. So they're gonna struggle for a while. It's gonna take a while to get that. You say they move a lot of lineups around because he don't know half these guys he got on his team. Everybody's new. He's still trying to figure this out. So they're gonna struggle for a while, in my opinion.
In that scenario, it sounds kind of scary because if they're struggling now, what's gonna happen when Kevin Love comes back? They're gonna have to shake up the lineup again. But I keep going back to who they shipped out. Do you guys remember? Isaiah Thomas, Dwayne Wade, Derrick Rose, guys with big egos, okay? Now you saw those guys' egos, you're out the door, okay? New guys come in. I'm gonna listen to LeBron. I don't wanna get sent to Siberia, okay? Jordan Clarkson's gonna buy in. But there's a little too much deferring. I think what you're talking about, Whitlock, is like George Hill, a little indecisive. Hey, man, just shoot the ball. Go out there. Jordan Clarkson, take your shots. They were off yesterday. They struggled in the second half, but I looked at the schedule. 23 games left, only 11 against teams with winning records. They're going to be fine down the stretch. It's all about the playoffs.
That was a wounded Spurs team, too, a real wounded Spurs team.
Let's remember,
on the road, they controlled the entire second half. That was embarrassing.
Kevin Love's going to come back. We've got 23 games here. Let's not go crazy. I still think they're probably, due to LeBron, better than Boston, and they're going to get their doors blown off by Golden State. So in the big picture, what's really changed?
I'm not willing to go there. I like the pieces they added. I like Rodney Hood. I like Jordan Clarkson. I like Nance Jr. I don't like George Hill starting. He's 14 of 43 from the field since coming to Cleveland. I've seen it before. You put him in a big spot, he disappears. Put him in Sacramento or Utah off the radar, and he's a fine player.
Yeah, but Nance and Jordan Clarkson, they weren't doing anything in Los Angeles. They're limited talent.
I like them too, though. I think they're gonna be good for him. I think, like I said, they gotta find a way to come into their own and stop looking at LeBron for every answer, for every pass. All your shots can't come from LeBron. You got to be able to create some other shots for yourself. Then LeBron's going to get his. We all know that. You got to find some way to how you can contribute and be aggressive without looking at him.
He's their only shot creator right now is LeBron James. He had 9 assists. George Hill had 1. George Hill can't shoot. He can't create for anybody. Osman has no business being on the court. Jeff Green needs more minutes. Again, I'm not willing to give up on this team.
Hi, everybody. Colin Cowherd here, and before the show moves along, I want to tell you about Freshly. It's the easiest and most convenient way to eat healthy, no matter what life throws your way. And it throws some things. Even if you get stuck at work late, you still come home to a delicious dinner cooked by a chef. No more worrying about having to figure out what you have left in the fridge, that's me, and especially no mess to clean up. Freshly chefs source the finest all-natural ingredients. They work with nutritionists to ensure their meals are as healthy as possible. A couple of meals to keep your eye on: the spaghetti squash and meatballs and the turkey shepherd's pie. Restaurant quality and delicious, I've had that. The best part about Freshly is the number of comfort meals, love those, they currently have that are also super healthy. There's no weekly commitment, only get deliveries when you want them. Check out this week's menu. Created by Freshly chefs, get $25 off your first order of 6 chef-cooked dinners, plus free shipping. That's key, free shipping. Go to freshly.com/Fox Sports. Freshly.com/Fox Sports. You'll feel so relieved. You come home, no headache. Use Freshly. $25 off your first order.
Well, LeBron's teammates weren't the only people he was upset with last night. After the game, LeBron took the referees to task for a lack of calls when he went to the hoop.
There's no reason I should be going to the line 4 times in a game when I drive 100 times to the paint. I'm getting hit and slapped and grabbed and whatever, whatnot. So, but we protect the shooter. That's what it's turned into. Chicks dig the long ball, and that's what it's about.
Whitlock, does LeBron have a point?
A great point. A great point. I generally don't like excuse making, but he's right. It's turned into a jump shooters league. When you go back early in his career, when it wasn't a jump shooting league, LeBron got a lot of calls and got a lot of trips to the line. Now he's at a point in this new NBA, Steph Curry shoots just as many free throws as LeBron James. That's criminal. That's criminal. LeBron James goes to the hole. He's a big body. He's hard to control. He should be getting to the foul line more often than just your standard jump shooter like Steph Curry. I'm not dissing Steph, but the league favors the jump shooter. We've done all make sure you don't put your foot here so they can't land. Everything's about protecting the shooter now. LeBron's got a point.
I think LeBron's throwing shade at the wrong people. Okay, LeBron's the biggest, strongest ball handler in the league. He's 6'9.5", 3% body fat, 245. He's a freight train. When he gets 2 dribbles in, it is over. Mm-hmm. You ever seen anybody take the charge from LeBron? It's never happened. He's 26th in the NBA in drives to the basket. He's not driving anymore. He's settling for jumpers. LeBron's free throw numbers are down to the lowest, 3rd lowest of his career. And his 3-point attempts are like the 3rd highest of his career. Look at this graph. This is LeBron when he drives to the basket, which has been reduced. Only 2 guys in the league are getting to the line more when he drives. LeBron's become more of a perimeter player. I watched that game against San Antonio. Come on now. First of all,
he cried about a couple of fouls that were not fouls.
The other thing is, can we all acknowledge this? He's harder to officiate. He's like Shaq. He is a hard guy to officiate.
He is, but hey, you can't blame him. Blame God. You know what I'm saying? God created him, but we talk about he talk about that they protect the shooters. Well, the reason why so many shooters are getting fouled is because no one plays defense no more. You know why Pop's defense, the teams are so good at defense? Because he says, if you foul a jump shooter, you coming out the game. You don't foul jump shooters, you make them make shots. That's why a lot of jump shooters are going to the free throw line. Anytime LeBron, Boogie Cousins, Russell Westbrook talk about not getting fouls, I'm listening because these guys are the best in the league. If they complain about getting fouled, not getting calls, I think I got to listen to them.
This is incredible. I was totally with Whitlock. I love that Steph Curry stat. Steph Curry's averaging the most free throw attempts per game. LeBron's second fewest of his career. But then I heard Cowherd, and I just got thinking about this. What if LeBron is looking big picture? And he's saying, wait a sec. I was on my way to catching Michael Jordan, and now all of a sudden the Warriors surpass me and have this super team, and now the Houston Rockets are in my way, and James Harden's going to steal the MVP from me. When all season I was in the lead for the MVP. What if LeBron is just ticked off? He knows he's not winning the title. Now the MVP's out. Shucks, man. Am I going to have to leave Cleveland again? What if this is a big picture play by LeBron? He's just angry and projecting about his future based on the free throws.
One thing you can't say is James stealing it. James earned the MVP this year.
But I'll say this, to his point, when LeBron fired at the refs this weekend, my takeaway was, no, LeBron, this is like when you start a fight with a girlfriend you're about ready to break up with, and you complain about you burnt the toast. You want out of the relationship. LeBron James is angry this weekend. No. So Kyrie left and he was angry, and they rebuilt the team and it failed. And so they made a big trade and they rebuilt the team, and LeBron's in that game realizing, I'm sitting here with a bunch of C-plus guys. And LeBron knows that if he leaves Cleveland, he's a ring chaser. He's the league's villain, and he doesn't want to be it, but he knows it now.
I don't think he's out on this group of guys. And he said that yesterday. He goes, this is the process. You guys are overreacting. Give us some time to figure it out. I don't think he's out on these guys. I think to Jason McIntyre's point, again, I think he's angry, and this isn't a big picture. This is just anger in the moment of, this damn league has moved away from me. It's a jump shooting league, and it favors jump shooters. And to your point, he's moved out and tried to do what everybody else is doing, shoot jump shots, but that's not really his game.
No.
And so it's like, where's the NBA that I was the most dominant force in? It's gone away from me. The referees favor the jump shooter, things that aren't my strength. And so he's angry and frustrated about that. And again, everybody loves the no hand check NBA, the no physical play NBA.
I hate it.
And they've made it for the little guys and for the soft guys and not the brutes like LeBron James.
It's a finesse league.
Isn't there a parallel to the NFL, right? The NFL protects its quarterbacks, and now they throw way too many pass interference flags on the defense because they want offense. Offense fills stadiums, gets people watching TV.
Where your point falls apart, though, is LeBron James is the show. He sells the most tickets,
but
not Steph Curry.
Couldn't I make this argument, though?
Yeah.
When you are Brady and LeBron, and you do last a decade and a half, the league does change. I mean, Tom Brady broke into this league. They had huddles, and they threw it deep.
The NFL bent towards Brady. This league is not bending towards LeBron.
No, you're right.
But they didn't bend towards Steph either. Steph came and took it. Steph came and took it. He came and took it.
There's no question.
LeBron wasn't expecting that.
But LeBron and Brady, there's some similarities. That the NFL rules move toward Tom. It is very much a skinny jeans league.
And let's not sell the Warriors short, guys. I mean, merchandise, TV ratings, Steph Curry, two-time MVP.
Oh, yeah.
This is one of the most popular, transformational player in the NBA, without question.
From being great.
And I think the fans show up at 30 minutes before the game, an hour before the game, to watch his pregame warm-ups because he's so popular. The league loves the Warriors.
Welcome back. We're now joined by Hall of Famer Eric Dickerson and former Pro Bowler T.J. Houshmandzadeh, who I covered in college. You were really good.
You're really old.
Let's move to the National Football League, where according to the New York Times, oh boy, Roger Goodell is expected to fine Jerry Jones millions of dollars in an effort to recoup legal expenses that the NFL incurred defending itself from Jerry's legal challenges to the suspension of Ezekiel Elliott, as well as his threatened lawsuit to stop the compensation committee from giving Goodell a contract extension. Whitlock, good idea by the league and Goodell?
I don't think so. I'm going to have to take some time tonight to marinate on this and acquire some more information. But I thought we were moving away from war and trying to move forward in football and start tweaking and fixing the game to make sure that this little bit of slide in TV ratings is stopped. I don't get this. Now, I understand, look, Jerry Jones is the modern Al Davis.
Yeah.
And there's a history. Pete Rozelle feuded with Al Davis, and so maybe Jerry Jones is the new Al Davis, and he's going to feud with Roger Goodell until he's out of the NFL. But to me, I wouldn't be doing this. I would try to let that thing be in the past and keep it moving forward. But again, I need some more time to think.
Who is Roger Goodell's boss? Owners.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the owners are pushing Goodell to find Jerry because they're looking at some of these costs incurred, and some of those owners are like, time out. It's coming out of our pocket. So I believe
Those
this
are some of the deepest pockets.
I know, but hey, you know who likes free stuff? The richer the people, the more free stuff they want. I think the owners are saying, time out. Jerry was bad press for 6 weeks, and now we have to pick up all the legal bills. Roger, stick it to him. I think this is coming from other owners that maybe harbor a little bit of resentment and jealousy. Absolutely, that's fair to say.
Think of the big picture, in my opinion.
This is like bad kids, a bunch of bad kids. Like, you know, I got my sucker over here, and he got a ball. I want that ball over there. I mean, look, let it go. I mean, the NFL is doing well. It didn't do great last season, but you know, I feel like with this is like already a black eye. I've gotten this letter before. Detriment to the team, detriment to the league. That's never a good look. I mean, as an owner, the owner is making $50 million a year. He's got a free jet for life. He's got the commissioner. He's got health insurance for life. What's the problem? I could say, move on, get over it. What did it cost him? Couple $100,000 for this lawsuit?
No, I'm sure it costs him several
It
million.
can't be about money.
It can't be about money, right?
When Goodell signs a 5-year, $200 million contract, he making more than every player in the league. It can't be about money. It's about control and power. And for me, the NFL needs to take a page out of the NBA's playbook. Everything gets along. Their culture, the players, they all get along. It's a great team sport. For this is above our heads right here. You got billion-dollar guy saying sue the other billion-dollar guy because we don't like what he did. What he defended Ezekiel Elliott, so now it's a problem. He's defending his players. What's wrong with an owner standing up for his players? He's not supposed to do that?
And what I'm fearful of, or what I would be fearful if I were the league, they're going to make Jerry Jones a sympathetic figure. Because, again, I think it goes to TJ's point. If he's being fined because he was too vigorous in his defense of Ezekiel Elliott, that won't play real well with the players. Jerry Jones's defense of Ezekiel Elliott in the players' mind, and in maybe some objective people's mind, was something to be applauded. And if this is any part of why he's being fined, I think the ownership that is pushing Roger Goodell to do this could backfire on them and make Jerry a sympathetic figure.
Could I make the argument, who are the two people Goodell's been toughest on? The Patriots and the Cowboys. This is coming from the other owners. There is resentment among the other owners. And by the way, Jerry's not the only guy that pays Roger Goodell. Robert Kraft isn't. This feels like Roger's feeling heat, saying, the Patriots are in the Super Bowl again.
Rich man.
Look at those footballs. Jerry gets more pub than everybody. He sues, so we have to pay all his bills. This feels, again, you're going to marinate on this tonight.
Yeah.
This feels like a bunch of owners resenting Kraft. Kraft's now a rock star. Jerry's a rock star in America. This sounds like, to your point, jealous billionaires of those two owners.
Jerry's already in the Hall of Fame, and I could see some other NFL owners say, why Jerry? He's caused all these problems. And I can see a lot of other NFL owners. We in the media have celebrated Al Davis. We don't know how his peers all really felt about Al Davis. He was a bit eccentric and maybe crazy, and maybe they thought Al Davis ran the Raiders in a way and caused the NFL problems that they felt wasn't beneficial to everybody in the league. And so you're right. I do think this is stemming from other NFL owners. And again, maybe we're not going to have a modern-day Al Davis. Or, at least we're going to go to war with the modern-day Al Davis the way Pete Rozelle stood up to Al Davis. All right, welcome back. Eric Dickerson and Steven Jackson are back. Let's move to college basketball, which is in turmoil these days amid an FBI investigation into allegations of payouts to top recruits. It was reported Friday that Arizona coach Sean Miller had been caught on a wiretap discussing a $100,000 payment to land the team's star freshman, DeAndre Ayton. Now an NBA coach, Stan Van Gundy, has weighed in with some strong words about the NCAA's one-and-done rule.
The people that were against them coming out made a lot of excuses, but I think a lot of it was racist, quite honestly. And the reason I'm going to say that is I've never heard anybody like go up in arms about, oh my God, they're letting these kids come out and go play minor league baseball, or they're letting these kids come out and go play minor league hockey. They're not making big money. The NCAA is one of the worst organizations, maybe the worst organization in sports. And they certainly don't care about the athletes.
It's one of the greatest comments I've ever heard from a coach. There's been a lot of coaches, Steve Kerr and Greg Popovich, virtue signaling and standing for the alleged right things. But Stan Van Gundy here calling this NCAA system racist is 1,000% accurate. Walter Byers is the modern-day founder of the NCAA. He was a conservative white man from Kansas. He built the NCAA system. In his farewell book, in his memoir, he called the NCAA amateurism system, he analogized it to slavery. Walter Byers, a white conservative man from Kansas who helped create the NCAA, called the system slavery. And again, so this isn't even up for debate. The people that came up with the system have told you what it is, and we want to live in denial of it and somehow protect this system. I said it on TV on Saturday, and people were upset with me. Sean Miller is a hero to me. This man figured out a way to reward someone who allegedly brought value to the University of Arizona. I respect him. I don't respect the coaches that respect these rules that Walter Byers and anybody else with a modicum of intelligence knows is exploitive of the guys that bring real value to those universities. That money needs to be shared with them. Stan Van Gundy, love you to death.
You ever been part of a union?
No.
Okay, I have.
Yeah, I have. But
You have?
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who does a union punish? The most talented. Because the union's really built for the masses. But if you're at a newspaper union and you're one of two writers who are really New York Times level, it's not rewarding you. It's rewarding the Metro beat reporter. Nobody who's great is inspired by a union. The weakest are protected by it. I don't like the one and done. I think you should be able to go to the pros. But let's remember how many people it affects. 12 a year. After the 18th pick, nobody really makes and sticks in the NBA. Of those 18 players, 6 are now international. About 12 domestic players stick in the NBA. Okay, they're hurt by the one and done. That doesn't comprise one roster in college basketball. There's 359 Division I programs. The one and done has no effect on 99% of kids who have no chance to play pro sports. Forget first round pick in the NBA, which is the greatest athletes in the world, in my opinion. I hate the one and done. I think a hockey player, a tennis player, a golfer, and certainly a basketball player should be able to go right in. But the NCAA was not comprised to protect the super prodigy. He's going to be fine. People are going to bid on the prodigy and seek the prodigy and corral the prodigy and teach him and want him. The NCAA is built to protect the gymnast.
According to Walter Byers, who invented the NCAA,
Yeah.
it's akin to slavery and a plantation. I'm going to go with his word. And I get that, hey, maybe only 12 guys can go to the NBA or whatever. But when you are generating the money, whether you're going to the NBA or not, but you're playing on the basketball team and people are buying tickets and buying your jersey and coming to see you play, and all the money's going to the coaches and to the administrators and to the gymnasts and to the softball players, what I call the welfare sports. People call them Olympic sports, but they're living off the benefits provided by football and basketball. That's who's paying the freight for everybody. And so they're welfare sports, and they're getting rewards that they haven't earned. And so that's not what America's about. And so this system is wrong, and as long as they don't address this issue, there will always be corruption. You can't build something integrity off of exploitation. Can't be done.
Well, but by the way, there's corruption in the Olympics and FIFA. There's corruption everywhere. Baseball had steroids. NCAA is not the only place with corruption. Yeah, it's everywhere. Our government's got corruption.
I'll say to the NCAA, though, but who are you to tell me what I'm worth? When I turn 18, I should be able to apply for any job that I feel like I could get. If some agent's telling me at 18 that I can make millions of dollars, why I can't go make that money? That's the question. But I can go blow my head off at 18. And go fight for something that I don't believe in at 18. It's just not right. I feel like when they stopped going out of high school, the percentage of young black males getting a chance for the NBA definitely dropped. Because why do we have to go to college to fake for a year to act like we here to learn? We want to play basketball. I don't want to go to college and fake like I'm here to get an education. This is going to change my life. And I see what it's done for my life so far, so I'm taking this serious. I don't want to have to go to college and fake it for a year for your benefit. I'm not benefiting from it. So it's all BS, man.
You could have gone G League, international, or hired an agent.
G League is worse than being overseas. You know, the travel in the G League is not A1.
But it's 9 months.
The money's not A1.
Well, it's not A1, but
it's not 100,000 either.
This interstate doesn't have just one exit. You don't have to play college basketball. You could go international. You could hire an agent who, for about a year.
And you can go to the NBA, too.
You
can go to the NBA, too.
A lot of these kids that play basketball, football, baseball, whatever, I'll say basketball and football, you want to get out of your situation. 9 times out of 10, that kid is the kid that's going to change mom's life, a grandma's life. And to make them go to college for that 1 year, something could happen. He could get hurt. Anything could happen. So why all of a sudden does he need to go to college? Why? We know that the final end game is the NBA. Let him go right now. Let's just not even mess around with it. And you're right. I always say, you know, they don't like the word slavery because it's not chains and whips, but it is a form of slavery. It really is. It's like, who's really making money off of this? The guys at the top. Let me ask you a question. All right, who's the head of NCAA?
Mark Emmert.
Who's the vice president?
I don't know.
Right. I tell you, you know Mark Emmert's name. I bet you no one else out there probably know. They don't know who Mark Emmert, but they know who the number 1 player is going to be. Right. They know who the basketball player is going to be. The number 1 high school football player is going to be. A college football. They know those guys. That's why the problem comes in. You got these white guys at the top that's running everything, and down below them, and it is what it is. There's a lot of the black athletes and white athletes too. They're working off their back.
Very few people I've ever met love one and done. I don't think but it should be noted, that's an NBA rule. College basketball didn't create one and done. The NBA did because they didn't want their GMs in gyms.
They made that rule because they got tired of all these young blackers coming in there with all these chains.
No, time out.
Right, yeah, that's why they made the rule.
The NBA.
They got tired of us showing them and being successful, coming in there with chains and living our lives.
The NBA
that's what
made
it was.
the rule.
That's why they made that rule.
I think they made the rule to improve the NBA, though. There was a lot of 18-year-olds coming in.
It had a lot to do with us.
They weren't ready, though. And so guys making a mistake weren't ready. You don't have a chance to properly scout them and evaluate them. They did it to improve the NBA. And that's why I think the NBA needs to be a part of the solution in terms of compensating Ayton and, 100, 200 of the top prospects while they're in college. Let the NBA, let the television networks, let the shoe companies compensate these guys for being in college. I'm talking about real money. And let them develop, and let's grow the game of college basketball back to what it was and what it used to be while paying the 100 or 200 of them that are NBA prospects. I think that's better for the NBA. It's better for me as a broadcaster.
By the way,
as a TV network, the healthier college basketball is, I think the healthier basketball
Now, that I agree with totally. I always feel like the NBA and college basketball.
They don't get along.
They don't, but I feel like.
That's David Stern.
Kobe Bryant
who the
came out of
media
high school.
Jermaine
O'Neal came out of high school.
I get
Tracy
it.
McGrady came out of high school.
LeBron
James came
James.
out of high school. LeBron James.
But.
College or not, it has no effect. What it is they trying to take control over what you do, point blank. They want control. That's what it is.
It's about the control.
It's about
the control. That's what it is, control.
Again, though, if I'm an NBA player, I want the NBA to reach its full potential. The more money the NBA generates, the more money they can pay the players.
No question.
And if college basketball were healthier, the NBA would be better. That's one of the great things the NFL has going for it.
Huge.
College football is healthy
think
and
about
good.
This. Tim Tebow and Reggie Bush
Yes.
literally came out of college football and led the NFL in jersey sales.
That's football.
That's
two of the
football.
top 3 players of all time came out of high school. Kobe and LeBron James, point blank.
But there are exceptions. You can't build a system for LeBron.
Football and
Lot of
basketball
guys.
is totally.
Lot of guys.
But Stephen, you would concede.
Lou
that,
Williams.
Listen, you
keep
would.
going on.
I get you would concede though. LeBron James and Kobe Bryant, had they gone to college for a year or 4 years, they were still going to be two of the greatest all-time great players of all time. If we could compensate them for
Can't
the
say
time.
that. Because they could easily went to college and got hurt.
That's what I
Anything
said.
could have
How many,
happened.
how many guys that happened to? Name me 5 guys
Name 2.
that were all-time greats. Did it happen to Patrick Ewing? Did it happen to Ralph Sampson? Did it happen to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar?
How good Greg Oden could have been?
Yeah, Greg Oden was falling apart in ninth grade.
I'm saying he got hurt early.
Oh,
He still made his
that
money,
was in the
though.
NBA.
I'm just saying anything could have happened.
He got hurt
anything
in
could
the
have happened
NBA.
He
in
got
college.
hurt in the NBA, Steve.
Anything could have happened in college.
Welcome back, Eric Dickerson and T.J. Hushmanzada. They're back. Let's move to Kansas City, where reportedly the Chiefs have agreed to trade star cornerback Marcus Peters and a 6th-round pick to the Rams for a 4th-rounder this year and a 2nd-rounder next year. That's it? Peters been very productive since coming into the league, but proved to be a little bit of a headache this season, even getting suspended for 1 game by Andy Reid after throwing a tantrum against the Jets. Nevertheless, he expressed his gratitude to Kansas City. He said, listen, Instagram, the fame don't make the name, and the name don't make it a game. KC, thank you. Whitlock, the Rams will now have to deal with Marcus Peters. Is he worth the, quote, headache?
Thrown out of college, now thrown off an NFL team. Oh, I'm shocked. Marcus Peters is a terrific player on Sundays most of the time. He is a headache Monday through Saturday all the time. And so as a Chiefs fan, I am thrilled that they got rid of him. He'll be LA's headache. He'll be our headache out here in LA moving forward. I applaud Andy Reid and the Chiefs organization for doing this.
I applaud the Rams for understanding what they are. In Los Angeles, a very distracted sports market. Okay, there's a lot to do here. You got the Dodgers and USC and UCLA and you got the Lakers. It's a win now. They're building the stadium. That's why last year they went all in on a left tackle and a center and wide receivers. You got to win now. Marcus Peters is our Dion. He is unbelievable. In a league where people don't throw over the middle, he'll give you an interception every other game.
He ain't Dion.
He's a star.
He's good.
He is a star player. By the way, I'm not marrying him. This isn't marinating for 20 years. I get the best pure corner for 2 years in a distracted sports market. You know what this is about? This is about Garoppolo and Russell Wilson and the Rams' schedule, which is tougher. It's a first-place schedule. They're going to have to face all sorts of good quarterbacks like Carson Wentz. That's what that's about. I love it.
Me too. Marcus Peters just finished his 3rd year in the league, 19 picks. He's a ball hog. He's going to get the offense the ball. Does he have problems? Yeah, he has problems. But when you grow up in a low-income, you don't do well with authority early on. And I see, like, if you're going to yell at me, I'm yelling back. But that's a problem. I'm a man. You respect me, I'm going to respect you back. And I think that was his problem is when you go to college and you got coaches that want to yell and disrespect you, some kids take that. He wasn't taking that. And he went to Kansas City. He played well. He had some problems off the field and with coaches. Me, you don't get this guy up. Not Kansas City. When you're trying to get where you're going, the Rams, they got to play San Francisco twice. They have to play Seattle twice. They got to play Arizona twice. You don't know who their quarterback's going to.
And a first-place schedule.
This is a big pickup for them. I'm taking it.
Good luck. Eric's going to be on the security team.
You're not going to say good luck once you say, hey.
Good luck, Eric.
Yeah.
Babysitting Marcus.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, I'm with you. I'm with both of you. I think it's a good deal, really. I think it's something that we need. Our defense did not play as well last year, especially in the secondary.
That's right.
We have Wade Phillips. I think knows how to coach. You got.
Can I interrupt real quick?
Yeah.
Wade Phillips had a key to leave, and he gave him no problems. Marcus Peters is going to be fine. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, he has Wade Phillips as a defensive coordinator. We've got a young head coach. The players love him. I mean, he's back home, back in L.A. He's from Oakland, but he's in Los Angeles, back in California. I mean, I think it's a good pick. And we have you got Aaron Down, Ogletree say, hey, look, man, you can't do that here. We're not having that.
This is a very good point.
Yeah.
This Rams locker room is a really good locker room.
And tight. Very tight.
Nobody's messing around with Aaron Donald. He's the best player in the league. The stars in this locker room.
It's going to be incredible. He won't be a problem at all. You're right. I mean, the stars in that locker room. Kansas City, he didn't have anybody in their locker room. Marcus Peters was a headache in college and got booted out of college. Here he is in Kansas City, one of the most productive players getting booted out. We know what Marcus Peters is. On Sundays, he's going to make a lot of plays. The rest of the week, he'll be a problem. Remember Hillary Clinton used to talk about who's the 3 a.m. phone call? That's for Sean McVay. And your beeper, they're going to have a beeper. Eric, we need you.
I'm on my way. I'm on my way.
Marcus Peters is a problem child. You don't give up on someone this talented unless they're a major problem.
If he gets you 6 or 7 picks, you'll take it.
Hey, I'm telling you.
A lot of people told me you were difficult to work with. Some days I have to just suck it up and play along. Some people are high maintenance. You just learn to deal with it.
All right, let's move to Jacksonville, where the Jaguars signed Blake Bortles to a 3-year, $54 million contract extension over the weekend. The move surprised a lot of people who thought they might explore other options in free agency after Bortles put together another uneven season. Cowherd, was re-signing Bortles a mistake?
Yep. So I'm going to give you 4 quarterbacks to draft. Andrew Luck, Deshaun Watson, Marcus Mariota, and Bortles. Who's your 4th pick? Ooh, last year last year was perfect. Andrew Luck got hurt and didn't play. Deshaun Watson got hurt. Mariota had the worst offensive staff in the league. You barely beat Buffalo at home. You went 10 wins. Your division was in the complete and utter tank. And oh, by the way, your schedule was allowed. Remember, you were terrible. Now, all of a sudden, you got a playoff schedule this year. Andrew Luck's back. Deshaun Watson's back. Mariota finally has an elite offensive staff. I'm sorry, but you just signed a long-term deal with a lot of guaranteed money to the 4th best quarterback in that league.
In that division.
In that division.
Let me ask you something, though, because I tend to agree with you, but what should they have done?
That was going to be my question.
And so, again, to me, I would have, Case Keenum's now on the market, I would have gone for a Case Keenum over a Blake Bortles. Okay. But
I would have gone for Case Keenum. I do believe that Kirk Cousins.
Too expensive, I think, in their mind.
Okay, but I do think what I'm hearing and reading is Kirk isn't looking to make $35 million. He is willing to take less if he can go to a Jacksonville or a Denver. Listen, man, Marcus Mariota has really been carrying a dismal offensive team. He finally got an elite Oregon offensive coordinator he's worked with. Luck's back, Deshaun's back. I'm sorry, but everything last year, to be a franchise quarterback is not just winning games. Mark Sanchez won a lot of games. RG3 and Tebow won games. It's can you overcome when everything doesn't go right? Last year, everything for Jacksonville was perfect. All the other star quarterbacks had bad coaches or got hurt. That division next year is arguably going to be second best division in football. And Bortles is your guy?
When you look at it, it's almost the way the quarterback market is, it's actually not a bad deal. It's really, is Blake Bortles, it's sad when, Blake Bortles, I'm not talking about you, I'm just talking about how you play. It's sad when you can play this bad and get this type of deal. This is where the market is. If you look at, he's not making a lot of money comparable to the other quarterbacks in the NFL. He's really, A.J. McCarron has started very few games. He's gonna make more money than Blake Bortles. He's not making a lot of money. On average, $18 million a year. That's not a lot when you look at the quarterbacks that Jimmy G.
Osweiler money. Mm-hmm.
He's not making a lot of money, but you look at it and say, the defense carried them, and now we're going to go ahead and get this money to him for being a quarterback.
Andy Dalton is what they've done. They settled for Andy Dalton.
He's not Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton is way better than Blake Bortles. There's no comparison.
I think Dalton's better than Bortles.
No content, not even close.
Honestly, I would say I think it's kind of close. You know?
No.
I think it's kind of close. Look, this team, Tom Coughlin run this football team. What'd he do in New York? He took Eli and a great defense. Eli's not great now, don't get me wrong. And took a great defense. That's what they have in Jacksonville, defense. Jalen Ramsey, young defensive back, a young defense. We'll take the quarterback, just like they did. Tampa did with
Brad Johnson.
Brad Johnson. We got the defense. We'll take an okay quarterback. He's our guy. We know what he's capable of. We know his ceiling. If I bring in a Kirk Cousins, he's got to start all over. You know, we bring in Case Keenum. He doesn't know the offense. He's got to learn it. We know what we got here. We know what we're working with. I would say, like you just said, for the money they paid him, I think it's a good deal.
No, I would have, based on that last game where, to me, there was opportunities to run the ball. That was just the final straw for me with Blake Bortles. I would have moved on. I would have tried to get a Case Keenum. I would have flirted with Kirk Cousins. I would, but again, for $18 million a year,
not bad.
in this,
He'll be there 2 years and he'll be gone.
Yes, if he can't. And
I think you have to draft a quarterback. They don't have a lot of needs.
I would draft a quarterback, but again, the whole issue I have with the whole deal is if I'm Jacksonville as close as I can, I would be win now mode.
Yes.
Exactly.
And that's what I don't like about this.
You could
decision.
win now. Kirk Cousins in this roster.
I'm gonna give you the guy I would have go after. I'd go after Nick Foles. I would have gone after Nick Foles.
They give him up right now.
The two things you've been high on are this new Cavs roster and Nick Foles. You're 0 for 1 on 1.
Nick Foles won a Super Bowl. All right, welcome back. Time for last call. Let's move to Zaza Pachulia, who reportedly will not be punished for falling on Russell Westbrook last night, even though Russ claimed Pachulia was deliberately trying to hurt him. Cowherd, was that play dirty or not?
Oh, come on. He's a clumsy 7-footer. We romanticize the 80s NBA where guys were getting clotheslined. This is outrageous? Really?
It's nothing. And, you know, the Thunder and Russell Westbrook need to spend their time worrying about qualifying for the playoffs.
Thank you.
The Big Three in OKC
It ain't working.
is one of the biggest disasters. We love to talk about the new-look Cavaliers.
They're a half game out of 8.
Yes. I would worry about that, not where Zaza falls. All right, let's move to Tiger Woods, who shot even par on Sunday to finish a very respectable 12th at the Honda Classic, his best finish in a PGA tournament since 2015. Cowherd, is it okay for me to be excited about Tiger Woods?
I mean, if 12th place at the Honda Classic moves the needle for you.
There were 141 golfers, some of the biggest names in golf. The course was brutal. If Tiger had played the bear trap well, he damn near would have won. There's a little stretch of golf.
The course was brutal?
It was brutal. Yes, it was hard. It was a very difficult course. Not a lot of guys under par.
Excuse me, is that Scotland? What is that?
There was the wind conditions and the course were very tough. Tiger played it. It was very inspiring. The Masters is now in play.
Can you just acknowledge that Tiger moved you at some point emotionally?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Without question.
Those days are over.
No. No. He moved me this weekend, and I watched this weekend 12th place finish. It's not over, and the man has a chance to be very competitive at the Masters this year.
This is the Honda Classic.
It was a the top players in the world were there, and he finished 12th. What more could he have done?
Finished second. Won it.
It's not over.
Scotland. God, he was in Scotland this weekend.